So I want you to pay attention to this. What you're looking right here on the screen is Oni of Ife. He is said to occupy a sacred position in Yoruba land, and his job is to service the deities. His job is to service the head of the deities. That is his job. He's a revered monarch, also a spiritual monarch. Now, I want us to look at this particular image right there, and I want you to see what is being done. Now, here it writes, Our Lady of Perpetual Help, pray for us. And right there is the picture of a Caucasian looking woman, known to some people as Queen of Heaven, while to some she's called Mary. Now, a video surfaced recently and it got a lot of people talking. But I want you to look at it. Let's have a good view. This is in Italy, the home of the Roman Catholic Church. This event is in Catania, in Sicily, south of Italy. This skull that you are looking at is that of a human being, a female called Agatha. A skull has been preserved, and the man right there, who is either a bishop or a cardinal or whatever he is highly placed in the Roman Catholic Church. They have moments that they bring this skull out. He brought it out, gave it a kiss, placed it inside a kind of effigy, and kissed it, bowed to it. Many Roman Catholics are beginning to rethink about what they are into, since most of them learned just the basics, catechism, and some few here and there. And because people can be too loyal to their beliefs, many oftentimes close their eyes to the mysterious, scary stories that they've heard. Now, one might say human beings will always be human beings, but God will always be God. But then, we cannot say the same to doctrine. Okay, for example, if you are a member of a church and you heard that your prophet is sleeping with all the choristers and impregnating them and doing all sort of terrible things here and there, does that stop you from believing in God? If it stops you, then it means that you came there for that pastor. You felt by looking at him, listening to him, his life will reflect what the Bible says or what he preaches, and that is all that you believe in. You are yet to understand that this man can be like a surgeon that speaks about smoking being dangerous, and yet he smokes. So in this case, it is different. This is not someone manifesting bad habit or bad behavior or sin as per what the scriptures of the Roman Catholic Church or their doctrines entails. This is part, in fact, enshrined in the Roman Catholic Church. But because many people do not have understanding, many have not seen, many have not come in contact with, they are just sitting down in that corner and that Reverend Father, in Mary, Holy Mary, Mother of God, that's all they know. And many do not even understand the scriptures. Average Roman Catholic does not understand the Bible. They don't. They don't read the Bible in context of it. So they read rosary, they read all of these things. Now, social media has made things more available. It has made it more. But that does not still mean that certain people or persons. I'm going to take you guys to the comment section so you understand that even in it, the same way a Muslim that is an extremist, regardless of something inside of him poking him, telling him there is something wrong with what I'm saying, he or she will still continue caring less, propagating the extremism and some crazy, useless doctrines. That is the same way some people will sit down and tell you, if you don't know, shut up. Now, there's a difference between knowing and accepting. Most of them will say, shut up, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. The person knows and the person is not accepting, but you think you know, or maybe you know and you have accepted it. Let me cut the chase. A lot of people have looked at this and they said this is idolatry, this is idol worship. In fact, they said, what is the essence? How does this point anybody to Christ? How does this point anyone to Christ? What does this call of a human being that walked the surface of the earth, Agatha, what has this got to do with the revelation of Christ? What has this got to do with Jehovah? What has this got to do with anything? Well, I'll take you to the comment section, and in between I'll tell you what a reverend father said about this. So here someone said Catholics work with symbols for easier understanding. What he is doing there is a procession. He's passing a message, and we Catholics understand what is happening there. You see how empty that skull is. That's how empty life is after all the struggles. This is the final stage of our body. And if you know the Catholics well, you will know we are traditional worshippers. We have traditions that we follow, doctrines. We work with symbols and practicals, and we also respect other people's traditions. In all, let our faith lead us, and let the Creator be the judge. We are all sinners and falling short of the glory of God. This person has written a whole lot of, without making the right sense at all. This is not about a procession or not. The Oni of Ife, it does procession too. So if it is a procession, does it make it less of idolatry? This person say we Catholics understand what is happening there, and the understanding is that this is an empty skull. So the question we should ask is this: if it is an empty skull, and the message is that life is empty after all the struggles, and this is the final stage of our body, why is that man bowing to that skull? And why is this man kissing the skull? Why is this man handling the procession, in quote, like a sacred, like the same way, in quote, those that they call idol worshippers will venerate, honor, worship, or offer libation to their deities? Well, for those who do not know, the Roman Catholic Church has a sainthood system where they believe that certain signs, when observed, could bring any of their spiritual heads into that place of sainthood. That Saint Agatha. To them, the bones of Agatha can work miracles. These are some of the arguments of a particular reverend father. He tried to defend this obviousness, saying Pope John, whatever, healed one person of this. Pope John, whatever, healed. Like, are we talking about healing? Even in the shrine, any shrine at all that has spirits there, you will find healing. But does it make it not an idol? That you find solution somewhere. People go to Oshun River and they get children, they get babies. People go to church. Some get babies, some don't. People go to some goddess and request for children. People go to some spirit and request for wealth. They request for money. Well, if anyone can say, mind your business, it is what they believe, then you should have no problems with a terrorist that shouts Allah Akbar, because that is the belief of that terrorist. That the more infidels like you, unbelievers like you, that he honor lives, his own Allah will give him virgins and make them very tight. Respect that too. Now you might say, no, do not compare. Ours is different. The truth of the matter is that religion, extremities of it destroys, and the biggest chain is that of the mind. It is that of the mind. Another person say, judge nobody. Not everything you see from afar looks the way you think. Another one wrote, I love the last line. Some of their practices doesn't sit well with you. My dear, it doesn't have to sit well with you. These are loyalists of do not even understand. To them, how can we not accept it? How can we not accept this? Like, many of them, deep inside of their heart and their mind, they know that there is something wrong. They know within them, they know there is something wrong, like, but they just cannot come out clear. Because to them, how can we at this time? I believe so much in the rosary. To them, I prayed and I did some. That is because God is merciful. God is merciful. I'll give you a shocker so you will understand. First, let us agree that God is everywhere, meaning God, His presence is everywhere. He can see you in that shrine. That's why God knows that you are there. Now, because God is so loving, He showers rain on both good and evil. When you go to a shrine, due to your own decision as a human being, God in His mercy, knowing fully that you want help but you are going through a different route, through disobedient spirits, He still permits that you get that you are requesting for. And for you, you think the shrine helped you, but God simply allowed it to pass. After all, there are people who go to shrine and they don't get what they want. There are people who go to church and get nothing. So the argument here, if you pay attention, the argument is you don't know what's going on there. Mind your business. That is what they are putting forward. That's their argument. That's their defense. You don't know what's going on there. But within them, they know that this is not looking, it is not looking Christian. That is for those who have opened the scriptures, searched the scriptures thoroughly. They will know it's not about symbolism. They will know that this is much more than the bones of Elijah, Elisha healing somebody. They will know that this is not just, do not leave my bones buried here, pack it along when you are moving from Egypt to Israel, bury me in Israel. They will know that this is much more than that. There's a difference between burying bones. There's a difference between a one-time event where bones healed someone or woke someone from the dead or did something to somebody. It was just one-time event recorded. It is not like bones are now being used, or bones of saints are now being used to heal people. So this singular excuses here and there, or explanation that Roman Catholics bring to cover up the initial idolatry that they infused with Christianity. Many do not even know how this came to be. Many do not know about Constantine. They don't know how all of these things came to be. They did less research or care less. They were born into it and they held on to it. They do not know that the Roman Empire dominated Israel, colonized Israel during the time of Yeshua. They don't know. They don't know that when Christ was crucified and the disciples were persecuted, they don't know that many of them were taken to Rome. Many of them were taken around, persecuted, so as to stop this Christianity, the wave of it. And because they realized that they could not stop it, And the more they unalived Christians, the more it grew stronger. What did they do? The colonial masters of those days, which is the Roman Empire, which is now what we call Italy. Of course, I know it's broken. It's a bigger empire, but the core foundation of it is where Rome is, Vatican. They now looked at it. All right, what do? Let us merge and create a religion so that we can control it rather than fighting it. We're talking about very intelligent people. So rather than fight Christianity, rather than stoning Stephen, rather than persecuting Paul, rather than dragging him to Rome to be judged and then his ship wrecked in Malta, rather than do all that, why don't we become part of this religion? What you become, what you take over, you can control. What you fight against, you cannot control. I don't know what your thoughts are. Drop your comments.